Hello again everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching. I'm going to do another light-hearted read today, just to keep the energy up. After yesterday was quite harrowing actually. The few readings I've done on Meghan and her bullying have been quite unpleasant. So today I am looking at Prince Harry and his military uniforms. Now, Neil Sean on YouTube has a very entertaining showbiz channel, and he delivers very amusing short little clips about Harry and Meghan. I'm interested to know why he's doing it. I suspect that there is some palace involvement behind the scenes prompting it. That's just my opinion, and of course these readings are all just energy readings, entertainment purposes, my opinion only. But I enjoy his channel. It's worth looking at if you haven't. Neil Sean, he's getting snarkier by the day, and he gets a lot of inside info. And what he has said, I think it was yesterday that he came up with this information, is that as Frogmore Cottage is being cleared out, because clearly Harry and Meghan are not coming back to the UK and their belongings are now being put into storage, their lease will be up at the cottage, I think early in 2022. So his belongings are being put into storage, and he has no interest in his mementos from his single life being sent out to California. The only thing that is being packed up and shipped out to California is his military uniforms. So, really interesting question. Is he missing his military life? And what on earth is he going to be doing with those uniforms? Apart from possibly in the bedroom. And let's not go there. I'm going to do scripted questions as usual. I'm going to ask what his general energy is, why he wants those uniforms, what he's going to do with them. Does he miss his military patronages and titles? And would he actually go back if he could? One more shuffle. We all remember those unfortunate shots of him, Remembrance Day last November, I think it was last November, in his uniform in a cemetery in California, all dressed up, laying a wreath, while Meghan pretended to look sad, and there were cameras clicking away, we suspected for a Netflix documentary, and it was very pathetic. It really was pathetic and unpleasant and offended a lot of people, Americans and Brits. So let's see if he's going to be dressing up in his little uniforms some more and prancing around in California. Let's see what he's going to be doing. I am using the Zombie Tarot today. It's a tarot deck that is quite startling, but it has a lot of people in military uniforms depicted, and let's hope that we see some of them in this reading. So those are my 5 questions that I've set for today's reading, and the underlying energy that I'm getting is the 10 of Hazards. What's called the 10 of Hazards is the 10 of Pentacles in a normal Rider-Waite tarot deck. In the Zombie deck, they're called Hazards, and the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Hazards is the legacy card. It's the lineage. It's very often the royal family. It's that tradition and history and things being passed down through the generations. This is the underlying energy. Harry really wants the security of that lineage with him in California. He can't let go of it. That is where his security is. That is where his identity is. And that is what he most relates to and what he feels most comfortable with. And that is what has come out. Interesting. So, my first question is, how's he feeling? What's going on in Montecito? How is he? Wow. And we get the world in reverse. The world in reverse. In its upright, there is the world burning, going down in flames, but the happy couple are locked in embrace as the end comes. The world is the last of the major arcana. It is the end of a chapter, a happy ending for these two in their bunker, embracing each other. They've survived the zombie apocalypse. In the reverse, his world has been literally turned upside down. He's been shaken to the core by the events that have happened in the recent past, since at least Megxit. He is not a happy man. He is feeling stuck in a cycle that just goes round and round. There is no happy ending here at all for him. And a failure. The world in reverse often means failure. In upright, it's a successful conclusion of something. You've achieved what you set out to achieve. Tick that box, move on to the next thing. He hasn't achieved what he set out to achieve at all. He feels like a total failure. So, terrible energy for him in Montecito. Really, it couldn't be worse with that card. It's the most positive card in the tarot deck, the world in the upright, because you have ended a cycle so successfully. In the reverse, you have failed, and failed very publicly. He feels like he has been seen in the world as a failure. Whatever he might be saying in his memoir and might be announcing to people in the press constantly, he feels like a wretched failure, a loser. So why does he need those uniforms? Why are they being sent out? What's the emotional need? Oh my goodness. 5 of Cups. The card of sorrow and regret. Weeping in the cemetery here. Crying over spilt milk, as people often say the 5 of Cups is. Very emotional. This was my question. What is his emotional reason, his need for these uniforms to be sent to him in Montecito? He's full of remorse. He's full of regret. He is full of sorrow. It's also the mother and the child, Diana and Harry, but it's more than that. It's the loss of everything that he cherished, the regret for what has gone from his life, and that it's a cemetery. It will never, ever come back to him. He can sit with those uniforms, stare at them all day, but he has lost what they represent, and he knows it. He's grieving here. He's actually literally grieving. That's very somber energy. This was meant to be a light-hearted reading, but yeah, it hasn't turned out to be so far, and the zombie deck is coming through as it always does. I know it's rather a strange deck, but it is really a very powerful deck if anyone's interested in tarot readings of very hard subjects. The zombie deck really comes through. What is he going to be doing with these uniforms? What is he going to be doing? Is he going to be parading around in them? What is he going to be doing? And there is the uniform. I knew one would come when the moment was right, and there it has. Knight of Hazards, that's the Knight of Pentacles in regular Rider-Waite. That's the guy on his horse, the steady, dependable, reliable character. Because it's the Knight of Pentacles, it's an earth sign. That's Prince Harry, who was the prince. A knight is a prince, really. It's not a king. It's not as high up as that in terms of maturity. That is him. He was the prince, the earth sign man, the Virgo. He was in a position that he understood. He knew his role. He did what he was told to do. He knew his place in the world. It's in the reverse. He doesn't know his place in the world anymore. He is not dependable. He is not reliable. He is not fulfilling his duty. He is not someone you can count on. He's let everyone down, and he knows it. He knows it. If he uses his uniforms to play dress up and do little ceremonies when the next event comes that the royal family is going to be commemorating in the UK, he knows that it's just going to be a hollow gesture, that everyone is going to see through it. Again, what an unhappy reading. couldn't be more unhappy. And I'm almost scared to ask the next question. How badly does he miss his military titles, his patronages, his honors, and his all those things that he was stripped of, and that prompted him to go on Oprah Winfrey in a fit of pique and lob those bombshells at the royal family? Three of Wands. I'm asking, how badly does he miss them? They were his way of spreading his influence in the world. The Three of Wands is sowing the seeds of something, and something expanding, growing. They were how he gained press as well, because wands are press. They were how he was perceived. He was the one that could go out and mingle with people, break down barriers, as is literally being shown in this card. He could break down barriers. He got very favorable press. He was the good old guy, not the good old guy in the American sense, but just relatable, amicable, friendly, the happy energy that the royal family sent out on those happy missions. Harry, go and entertain people, make nice, chat to those military guys, be part of the team. Three of Wands can also be, at some sense, a teamwork thing. That was his identity, his role, and that role has been taken away from him. This is not a terribly negative energy, but this is how he perceived himself, as breaking down those barriers, as doing that good. He once made the rather large comment that he was responsible personally with his mental health work for guys in service not committing suicide, which, everyone reeled from shock and horror when he said that. But he really had an idea of himself as spreading a message, as doing good, sending out into the world this message. And it has been removed from him. So my final question for this reading is, would he go back if he could? Would he put that uniform on? Would he sign up? Would he rejoin the ranks? Would he go back if he could? And I get the Moon. And interestingly, in this card, in this depiction of the Moon, somebody is lying in bed and there is a key being offered to them. It's kind of a dream world. It's a kind of an escapist fantasy energy that's coming off this card. It's a dream. It's a dream that's out of reach for him. But it's something that he lies in bed sleepless nights and he thinks about and he wishes could happen to him. He wishes he could turn the clock back and go back in time and rejoin and go back to that happy time when he was Hazza and everybody loved him and he was doing all these good things that he thought he was doing, when he was Mr. Dependable, when he was the Knight of Pentacles in the upright, when he was fulfilling a role and a duty. But it's been taken from him and now he's confused. He's in the dark, he's in the shadows. There are all these ghostly figures around him in his world, and he himself is unsafe. He is fearful. He is confused. He is perceived also, but the Moon card is being perceived as untrustworthy. He can't go back because people don't trust him anymore. He's lost all of that. He's mourning it here in this card. He's mourning this loss of reputation, loss of status, loss of connection. His world turned upside down, grieving over what has happened, knowing that even if he puts that uniform on, people are going to mock him for it, really. Missing the status, this power, this energy that he had, this exciting energy that he had, and really being very lost, very lonely, very confused, needing those uniforms for his link, for a link with the past, with the royal family, with his lineage, with his heritage, with where he belonged in the world. This is a very unhappy reading, and yes, it was meant to be light relief, but I don't think with Harry and Meghan there really is any light relief. But anyway, for what it's worth, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you on the next one.